Hi, I'm Tom Asher, Senior VP of Customer Engagement at Humosh. We're back for another great interview with an innovator and pioneer in the customer care space. Join me here at Change.org's offices in San Francisco as we have a conversation with Zoe Silver, Head of User Success and Safety at Change.org. Zoe is a passionate advocate for human empowerment and social change. Zoe, I am so happy to be here. Thank you for taking the time to interview at Change.org's offices here in San Francisco. These are beautiful offices, lots of natural light, even on this gray day in the city. But pleasure to meet you and get to talk to you for a little while. So you have a really interesting background. Tell me, you were a sociology major and you're a boxing coach. What's up with that?
Sociology is the study of people, of societies, and I love finding patterns in the chaos. And boxing, just a lot of fun and a great workout, a great way to relieve some of the stress when you're interacting with customers all day long.
Take your aggressions out at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Perfect. I need to take up some boxing. In the meantime, I'll be very careful and behave myself today. And tell me how you got your start here at Change.org's office.
Yeah, so the opportunity at Change presented itself, and I really thought about how can I make the most impact in the world. And the piece that really attracted me to Change.org is by working in support here, we're enabling people to be empowered to make the change that they want to see in the world.
It's awesome. It sounds like, it looks like a fascinating place, and I think many of us know it's like the coolest thing going on in the world of business. So how do you, with all this technology you're using, how do you personalize your interactions? You started to talk about that, like looking at the life, where they are in their life cycle, but like give me some examples of like what might be a more personal interaction because they're further along in their journey.
Yeah, that's a great question. So because we do email only, personalization is something that we do struggle with, is how do we let the agent or let the user know that we are an actual person that they're interacting with. And there's a lot of things that we'll do. One of the main things we do is we have, even if we have a templated response, we ask the agent to write at least one custom sentence, which we call an empathy statement. So basically trying to match the user on their emotional level where they're at, as well as rephrase the question that they've asked in our own words. That's one way we create personalization and humanization to our non-voice responses.
Let's admit the big elephant in the room in the customer care industry right now, which is the tension between human or live support and automation. A lot of people have concerns about how that's, what the impact is going to be on the industry. So how do you, first question, how do you determine how much you should automate your interactions?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's something we're still tackling. I mean, we definitely want to give as much of a human interaction as possible. I think one of the challenges is understanding what the user's expectation is based on the type of issue that they have. I would love to automate very transactional types of contacts, reset my password, unsubscribe my email address, those types of things. And I think the user's expectation in that case, they don't really care if they're interacting with a human. If somebody is having a personal crisis in the world and they're reaching out to us for help in advocating for change that's going to positively impact their life, I think they want a person in that case. So we are doing our best to figure out how we route those pieces, those types of issues to the right channel. One of the main places we're tackling is we're trying to provide users the option to self-serve as much as possible for those transactional type contacts. And we actually want them to contact us for the types of questions that need higher engagement and more of a personal and customized response.
Makes total sense. I mean, it's like it's that challenge of when do you cross that line though? Like when do you decide to make yourself easily accessible with live support? So a couple final questions. So when you think of social activism, you don't really think of automation, but here at Change.org, You've used it really successfully. What would you say to people who think automation is not for their business?
Try it. I think you'd be surprised. And I think users are increasingly going to expect things to happen instantaneously, and it's going to be impossible to do it with people all the time. So figuring out how can we use the wisdom or the brain trust of people to actually create meaningful applications that will allow us to automate tasks that don't require human interaction, give it a go. It's a lot easier than you think.
You hear that, everybody? Give it a go. Don't wait. Make it happen.
I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's easier than you think.
I get it. I get that it's not easy, believe me, but it's just great to hear from someone like you who's running a really complex support organization that you're making it happen, and that, yeah, there's challenges and it's a journey and it's probably never ending. Final question. This is the fist-pounding question.
There we go.
So, Zoe, why the heck haven't more companies embraced this vision and passion that you've shown in customer care? So how can you convey the importance of customer care to the success of an organization?
Yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah, think about, your CEO's like, so why should, not your CEO, but a CEO asks, like, why should we invest in customer care? It's just a cost center. It's a classic complaint, right, of every customer care leader.
Yeah.
So how do you respond to that? How do you, how have you convinced here at Change.org leadership to really invest in your area?
Yeah. So we all want to have users, right? And we want to have a meaningful relationship with them because it allows them or creates an affinity between our users and our brand. And by creating an exceptional user experience, we're keeping them engaged. And actually, what we find is that when people have a problem, you're at sort of an inflection point where if things go wrong, they will walk away and they will never come back. But if you actually have that opportunity in the moment to rescue them, they will become your biggest supporters. And so driving that interaction through our success team has helped us push the needle on the overall business goals.
That's awesome. Awesome, very inspiring. Zoe, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to discuss how you do user and member support here at Change.org in San Francisco. It's great. You've accomplished a lot. You've got a really interesting set of challenges ahead of you, and I will stay in touch with you. I want to hear how it goes. But meanwhile, thank you for sharing your thoughts with everyone here today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks so much for including me, Tom.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
That wraps up our interview with Zoe Silver from Change.org. Through his efforts, Zoe is laying the foundation to enable Change.org to scale rapidly and empower millions of change agents around the world. What a gift to human progress. At Humash, we're really passionate about helping companies deliver a vastly better customer experience. If you're excited and committed to changing the game, we want to talk with you. This is Tom Asher with Humash. Thanks so much for watching.